I was banking on Trevor Lawrence continuing to play well. He'd played well 3
I
weeks in a row.
told you. Denver Broncos scored 9 points. They lose 10-9.
They're inventing ways to lose now.
People complain, I didn't get enough napkins. Let's get into some of this football news. What did you take away from Deshaun Watson? Or, we call it football news. Hey, what did I learn? I learned Deshaun Watson was rusty, and I expected him to be rusty.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, though, the first time, though, this year, the Cleveland Browns defense actually showed up. Yes, they were playing the Houston Texans, but it doesn't matter. They showed up. I think that's something to build on.
Do you think they feel different now that they have, like the defense? Do you think they feel different now that the quarterback's there?
Brissett I don't think Brissett was bad.
I don't disagree.
You can't blame the quarterback situation on poor defensive play.
The one thing that stands out to me when I think about certain defenses is the Seahawks Legion of Boom defense used to swear up and down that when Marshawn got a big run, it hyped them up to play better.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, do they feel, because they're set at 5-7 right now, they're 2 games out of the playoffs. Do they feel more confident? And I agree, Jacoby did a great job for what he was asked to do, knowing his job was going to get taken from him.
They probably feel better, but watching that game, they won the game and couldn't score offensive points. So you don't get too hype.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo breaks his foot. They're saying that it may not be a Liz Frank, so that's good.
Yeah.
I have never seen in my football life how Kyle Shanahan does such a great job of making every quarterback he has look really, really good and hiding every deficiency that they possibly can and getting a win.
Brock Purdy threw 37 times?
Man, Brock Purdy looked like the second coming of I don't know who, but goodness, he looked Purdy. That boy was throwing some Purdy balls.
Are the 49ers the Baker Mayfield landing spot?
I don't know.
Do they just stick with? So if you're in that situation,
I don't know if Kyle wants, because Baker goes rogue.
Sure does.
Right? And when I mean rogue, I'm just saying he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. At least Jimmy will throw a pick because he's doing what he's supposed to do. Oh, that guy's taken away. I know this guy's open. Oh, that linebacker was right there.
He sticks two to the course. He doesn't.
Yes. He sticks to a he's over there like game. Hey, nope. They said it's 10 steps. We're doing 10 steps. Right? Baker's over there. We can do skip 8. We can do step 8 first before we do step 2. That's just a guideline. I don't know. I also don't think he's going to clear waivers.
Right. I agree.
I think somebody's going to grab him. They have no intentions of playing him, but they just don't want the San Francisco 49ers to get him. So I don't really know what Baker brings to the table. Because watching him play, yes, he makes some plays, but he also doesn't make some plays. He leaves plays on the field.
We talked about earlier, though, if Shanahan or any other coach is like, those other guys were using him wrong, I know how to use him. That's all it takes.
Yeah, I just I don't think. Because by the time it's going to take so long to get him up to speed. And I just don't know. I think with them getting Josh Johnson, I think
what a career.
I've been on a team with Josh. Josh can
I'm
play.
sure you have. I think I've been on a team with him. He's been on all the teams.
Josh can play. He understands the game. So I like that. We'll just spend a little bit of time with this. Denver Broncos scored 9 points. They lose 10-9.
You were the first person I thought of when I saw that final score because
let me tell you something. I watched that. I watched it. I said, and I just turned it. I was like, hey, where's Lamar? And then I was looking at what happened. And then I saw my guy, Tyler Huntley, Utah, he's out there. And then I was like, gosh, you can't beat a backup quarterback. It's bad.
When I saw it was 3-3, Lamar went out.
Yes.
And then I saw it was 9-3, and I was like, Ravens haven't been able to move the ball with Lamar. It's 9-3. This might be what the Broncos needed. And then I saw the final was 10-9. I was like, how? How did they find a way to do this? They're inventing ways to lose now. Tyler Huntley's shown he can play.
No, he can.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know if he's
worked
top.
He's worked on his passing too in the offseason as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're another team this year, a quarterback needy team, is he a guy who's high on your list?
I would bring him in before I bring Baker or Carson Wentz.
I don't disagree.
Right, I've seen the 10 to 12 games we've seen out of Carson Wentz, that MVP type of season he had. We've seen more games of him not playing like his first 2 years in the league than we've seen. And yet he's getting every opportunity. And I don't understand how and why. And it has to do with because it's that draft pedigree, and they want to make sure that he's a lemon before we say he can't play. So it's gonna be interesting. All right, let's get
there was another quarterback in that Ravens game that I wanted to ask you about. Proche.
Oh,
what was as a wide receiver? Wide receivers. Go ahead.
That's a guy that's a young dude. Hey, he getting his opportunity. He said, I'm not going rogue. I'm going to do exactly what they told me.
He was patting the ball. He was like, I got this. Let me stretch a little bit. That was great. I loved every second of that. As the ball hung in the air, more Broncos D-backs started just popping up. I don't know where they were coming from, but that went from double coverage to
whack-a-mole. It was a whack-a-mole.
And they were calling each other. It was baseball. I got it.
I got it. Yeah. Well.
I love that. That might have been my favorite play to watch this weekend because he threw it with the confidence of wide open wide receiver was going to be there.
Yep. Nope. Oh, my dog, Proche. Oh, well.
I loved it. It was great. Yeah. Listen, if that were an empty field, if that were just me and him playing catch, it was a great ball. Great ball.
When they practice, those guys don't intercept it in practice. They let you catch it.
No.
This is Bandit. He founded Underdog Fantasy so that humans who really love sports could play with their friends and win some big prizes. Tell your human to go to underdogfantasy.com today.
Let's hit this fantasy versus reality. Armchair quarterback.
All righty. Injuries ruined us last week. Injuries.
Yes. One, I told you I didn't want to take the Trevor Lawrence. Did I not?
The problem with that game, when the Jags and the Lions, or you can put the Browns in this category too, when those three teams if two of those three teams are on the field together, one of the teams is going to look like the team we know and love. The other team's going to look like a Super Bowl contender. Both of them, it's never going to be both of them playing well. One of them will continue to look like themselves. I was banking on Trevor Lawrence continuing to play well. He'd played well 3 weeks
I told you. What did I say? I said, I don't know.
I know.
I'm not sure with this one. And then he gets injured too.
Right.
But I told you. I said I wanted to stay away from it. Did I not?
You did.
We run that tape. Exactly. See, I said it. It's clear as day right there. I was hesitant. I was out.
I was Proche. I was just chucking it.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson got hurt. Didn't see that one coming.
No.
Garrett Wilson will continue to make plays.
Monster. Is
So-
he wide receiver 1 so far from that draft class? Olave looks good.
Olave looks good. I would say they are all pretty stout, good picks. I don't know. I don't want to say that he's wide receiver 1 because Chris Olave is playing with it. You know, he started the season with Jameis.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing Andy Dalton. Dennis Allen is not really showing that he's a really good coach. So I don't think it's fair to say he's the number one. He's a wide receiver 1. I just think he's a damn good football player. Right? You can't go. I don't think you go wrong with either guy.
I don't disagree. Josh Jacobs continues to play with his hair on fire. 121.5 rushing plus receiving yards against the Rams, a team that has all but quit on this season.
I'm not. You said that, not me.
You're correct. I did. Hand up. Rams are bad. I'll own that. I'll own that take.
No.
What do you think?
My problem with taking this is I don't know. They'll run the ball for 3-4 straight games, and then they'll come out and do some stupid stuff. Right? They just come out and say, "Hey, we're going to trick you. We're not going to do what we've been doing for the last 3-4 games that's helped us win. We're going to switch it up." So I'm not really sure. 121, him getting that. So that's basically 60 rushing, 60 passing. Yes. I can see that happening. So I would say yes.
Okay.
You know, I think that's a yes, playing the Rams.
I do want to give McDaniel's credit. He lost to Jeff Saturday, and he said never again. They've not lost since. They've stuck to the basics. The Raiders have reverted course and look. I
see Jeff Saturday has plateaued, huh?
Plateau would be putting it nicely. He's not asking Matt Ryan if his shoulder hurts. He's not managing timeouts. He very much looks like the high school coach who went 500.
Okay, you said it, not me.
Mm-hmm. Jamar Chase, 83.5 receiving yards, home against Cleveland. He put up 97 last week against the Chiefs.
He put up 97 against the Chiefs. That was a big game. I'm wondering, does he have a letdown? Because that was it, Addison? Man, that young receiver USC? That they have for – no. Addison, that's the receiver. The corner for the Cleveland Browns is a rookie. Man, that dude is balling.
It's not Newsome, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not Newsome or Ward. It's a rookie.
Emerson. Yeah, there
Emerson.
We go. Emerson, yeah.
Yeah, Martin Emerson has been clamping people, and I would imagine they want to – I don't know who they're going to put him on, so I'm scared. I'm scared to say that.
Okay, well, stay away. I won't try and talk you into anything.
I'm just not sure with Chase. I'm also not sure with Higgins either because they didn't have great numbers, but they got to win. So it's you know, I'm not sure what Cleveland defense is going to show up.
I think they said the Cincinnati offense, I think they said during the broadcast, has scored on, I believe it was 75% of their red zone trips, first in the NFL since about week 4. Obviously, red zone does not equate to yards in this, and what we're doing here with higher or lowers. But the Bengals offense, they did it last year. Are they just a second half team now? And they got.
I think they are. I think they are a second half team. I also think that they're figuring things out. Offensive line is gelling together. Mm-hmm. They're running with Piron. They're running the ball in more effective. Yep. They only ran it all over people with Joe Mixon against my Carolina Panthers. So it's really hard to say. I would say I do see Michael Gallup getting more yards against the Houston Texans.
Okay.
I would say I do. Yeah, I see him getting more. Right? Because Stingley Jr. is going to be covering CeeDee Lamb. So I would see more.
I don't know who put this last one on here. We can skip it.
Here's the thing. I can see Mac Jones getting 215, but I can also see the Arizona Cardinals slowing him down a little bit because of Matt Patricia and how inconsistent he's been.
That's what I mean. We come off the Vikings game on Thanksgiving.
And it looks great.
Many complaints about Matt Patricia then. Right. Yeah, he was chucking the ball.
Well, here's why. Game plans, man. People game plan you differently, and they see what did not work. They're like, well, if you put up 382 2 touchdowns against the Dallas Cowboys, who are one of the hot teams out there, we're not going to do that for us because we're not as good. We don't have that type of defense. So I think that's the part that people don't put into consideration.
I don't think Mac has been the problem since he came back from injury by any stretch. But locally, I've seen more excuses. Like he had a couple high throws against the Bills, and it's like Belichick's broke his mechanics. If people don't knock it off, like would Justin Fields ever get that excuse? The coach broke his mechanics. Would Zach Wilson doesn't even get that excuse, and he was the higher pedigree quarterback. It's I don't know that I've ever seen this kind of bending over. No, I'm not saying feel bad for me. I'm saying like what are these excuses? Like this is a professional.
Well,
this is supposed to be a professional quarterback. If we're gonna make excuses for his mechanics, like what is that what they're practicing? No, they're practicing plays. He needs to work on his mechanics. I don't even think it's a real thing, but I saw that. It stuck out to me as like, all right, we've gone too far with the excuse making.
Well, some of it has to do with people want to believe what they want to believe. That's at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? Quick little tidbit. Someone asked me, man, did you see that game last night? Tom Brady, right? And people just want to believe what they want to believe, right? People who believe that Tom Brady can't play, they're going to use every excuse and say this. People believe he still can play. Mac Jones, Tom Brady, all these guys, man, they're week to week. And defenses and coordinators, they get paid a lot of money to make their lives bad, make it difficult for them. An uncomfortable quarterback is never a successful quarterback. Right. Look at the difference, the Minnesota game and the Jets game. Mike White was throwing the ball, but he could never really step into his throw and be comfortable because they were on him. Kirk Cousins, now on the other hand, Kirk Cousins showed he is going to take a hit, stay in that pocket, and deliver the pass because he knows if I stay in the pocket, deliver the pass to Adam Thielen, to T.J. Hockenson, to Justin Jefferson, it's going to be an explosive play. It's just different.
From what I see, talking about what people want to believe, it feels like a lot of writers in New England, writers, talk show hosts, whoever, it feels like they've been waiting a long time to crap on Bill Belichick.
Yes.
And I don't know why. Like
those articles are going to get clicked on. Those articles are going to get read. Oh, Pete, for some reason, our world has changed where we don't like reading good stories anymore. We don't want to know about the good things. We want to know about two people that are coworkers who have done what they've done.
Right.
We don't really want to hear, hey, this person is a really good person. Right? People love to complain. People love to complain.
1,000%.
Bottom line.
I'm not sitting here even saying like Belichick should be rewarded.
Here's a summary of sports. Go to TripAdvisor right now. Go on a Yelp and read on a restaurant. Man, if you read anything on a restaurant, People complain, I didn't get enough napkins. I read one time off a hotel in New York. It was a chic-y,
like boutique hotel.
Boutique hotel, and someone said the bathroom was way too small. Bro, you're brushing your teeth, pooping, and taking a shower. What's left?
Yeah, you're laying down.
Like, what is left? You're in New York. What is left that you need? Do you need to stretch out in the bath in the restroom? People just love to complain, so let them complain.
Yeah, and I do think there's a difference between legitimate criticism versus this is pent up hatred. Like,
yes.
I do think there's a difference.
It's pent up hatred against Bill Belichick because just the way he is success. People also don't like successful people either. Right?
Sure, I would get that more nationally than locally. That I guess.
Locally, it's even more locally.
That's insane to me.
Because locally, there's this unrealistic expectation. Give me what I want.
Yeah.
All right.
What have you done for me lately?
Miami and San Francisco. I thought that was a really good game. To be able to watch how the San Francisco 49ers were able to play and consistently beat up on the Miami Dolphins, that was good. I was actually impressed with the Chargers in Las Vegas game. I didn't really expect that. But watching that game, I just believe that Brandon Staley is going to put himself in a position to get fired, unfortunately. How about this? Josh Jacobs. Man, hasn't fumbled the ball in, I think, like 200. Let me look at it. It was a really good, 249 touches without a lost fumble until the other night.
Pretty good.
That's a lot. That's pretty darn good, man.
Yeah.
Yep. I was thoroughly surprised that the Tennessee Titans were beaten the way they were beaten by the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles ran the ball, but they say, we're going to run the ball when it counts the most at the end of the game. Man, Tennessee Titans, they were moving up in the category in the 29, 28 in secondary. Man, they're moving back down to 32nd in passing. Man, they need to get some corners. The corner that they got from Virginia Tech, that guy, Farley.
Caleb Farley, yeah.
Yeah, Farley, whatever his name is, can't cover. He slipped for a reason, and we're starting to see it. Their secondary is not very good as a whole. Like, to be able to stop people to go in the playoffs, they're gonna have to tighten that up. Everybody's responding off the Kansas City Cincinnati Bengals game. That was just a really good game, and the Cincinnati Bengals just beat them, right? People don't want to give credit to Cincinnati's defense. Their defense is really they spent $230 million a couple of years ago, and they've slowly added some players, and they've added the right players, and they're playing really well. This is 2-3 years now with this team defensively, and they're just they're gelling more and more. Second half of the season, they're playing really good football. Kind of like what they were when they went to the Super Bowl last year and lost to the Los Angeles Rams.
Was there ever a team that, for whatever reason, you could not beat? Like, for whatever reason,
New England Patriots. The New England Patriots.
The Chiefs seem to be able to beat
that was a dumb question. That was a really stupid question.
But it's like,
they had this kicker named Adam Vinatieri. They had this quarterback named Tom Brady. They had this linebacker named Teddy Bruschi. They had this other linebacker named Willie McGinnis, Vince Wilfork, Ty Law. Do I need to go on more and more?
Please. Yeah. I'm okay with this. I'd rather talk about that team than the current Patriots. But no, it's like I wouldn't say the Bengals are objectively better than the Chiefs. Like, it doesn't seem like they should win every time they match up as they have. Is there a mental thing going on with the Chiefs where they see the Bengals play differently?
I think there's a mental thing. Sometimes you just have that team's number too.
Yeah.
Right? You just know, and having that team's number having this team number is exact. When you have a team's number like the Cincinnati Bengals have the Kansas City Chiefs number, you win by 3.
Yeah.
You win by 4. You just make that extra yard when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
You make that extra catch. You run out of bounds to stop the clock when you have no timeouts to get that winning field goal.
Mm-hmm.
You just have little things. It doesn't help that the Chiefs had some self-inflicting wounds, right? They did some things that they would love to take back. And they had some guys that didn't show up or drop some passes at the worst time to drop some passes.
Do you think they should be running their mouths the week leading up to it? Does that
It
matter?
has nothing. It doesn't matter because Valdez-Scantling catches that pass, doesn't matter.
You're right.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't fumble going into the end zone, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet that it was on a website. They were talking about before the game. Travis Kelce was at a restaurant. He was eating food. Can you believe that? He so didn't take the Cincinnati Bengals serious because he was eating at a restaurant. And he was wearing clothes, too.
He was more focused than Miles Sanders before a game. I know that much.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. But
yeah, no, of course not. No.
It doesn't sound very good. All right, so let's see. My silver and gold. Go ahead.
Do you think that was enough to throw a flag on Jamar Chase? As a boisterous wide receiver yourself, that seemed fine to me. Like, I like that. As a fan, I like that. And this is what really bothers me. The NFL will throw a flag.
Coach Taylor didn't like it.
And I understand because he got a penalty.
Yeah.
If there was no penalty, I don't think he cares.
If there's no penalty, you don't care. And it's
right.
a penalty. You can't do that, Jamar.
This is what bothers me about NFL penalties. When they throw a penalty on that, I assume he gets fined for that as well.
He'll give that'll be taunting.
Then they'll use it in the commercials to be like, Bengals are playing this week, and they'll show Jamar.
Absolutely.
That's what bothers me. The big hits that are penalties, they put those in the commercials. Like, you can't have both. You cannot have both.
Yes, you can.
Well, yeah, they do. They definitely do. But I don't like that. That's talking out of both sides of your mouth. I don't like that.
Doesn't matter. They don't care what you think.
I know. They sure don't.
Because here's the thing. In 3 months, when you take that, splice that out of context or something, you'll see a kid doing it. You'll see a basketball player after a dunk doing it. So it doesn't. I don't think it matters. Hey, week 14. Who's your goal?
I got Eagles-Giants. Still technically 2 playoff teams. And right now it's like, is Jalen Hurts just going to continue to march to MVP? Because I thought Mahomes had it. He lost. His 2 losses are to Josh Allen and to the Bengals. Yeah. It's getting harder to be like he's running away with it when Jalen Hurts keeps doing things no one in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles has ever done at quarterback.
Absolutely.
So is he just going to keep marching towards that? Is he going to beat
another
playoff team at the
I think they do because of the running game. They have so many weapons, you can't do anything about it.
Hmm.
That's the bottom line.
What's your goal?
My goal is Cleveland, Cincinnati.
Okay.
Will the Cincinnati Bengals have a letdown after beating Patrick Mahomes? And does Deshaun Watson, does the rust wear off, or is he just going to show more and more rust versus a much better defense? Because he got tricked by the Houston Texans on that touchdown, on the interception. That was well played by by Petrie, the secondary guy. It was just a great play. I can see Jesse Bates doing that same thing to Deshaun Watson as well.
How do players in the league feel about Deshaun right now? Because most NFL fans hate his guts.
I'm not a player in the NFL.
Sure.
So I don't know. And I also don't walk around texting guys, hey, what do you think about Deshaun Watson coming back? I personally think that this is something that is very unique.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that obviously is a bit appalling.
Without question. I don't disagree. He's also not the first appalling human, allegedly, to play in the NFL.
How about to walk the earth?
Also that. Right? But I think a lot of fans project into the league, since it's such a physical league, yes. They want to see physicality happen towards him. I guess my question is, since he's not the first.
I think he's going to be tackled. If a guy has an opportunity to hit him, they're going to hit him not because of what has transpired. They're going to hit him because they want to make him feel their presence to where you hesitate the next time you think about doing it.
But there's nothing extra because of what's transpired these last 2 years.
I think the extra is what has transpired in the last 2 years of him not playing. Let me show you what you missed. Gotcha. If you got these fresh legs, let me make sure you don't think that you're going to run. You got to remember, Deshaun Watson also has the ability with his legs to make some plays.
Definitely.
This is a guy that was kicked in the face, fixed his face mask, and threw a dime into the end zone and got a black eye.
Yeah.
So Deshaun has some special powers. So you're going to hit him because you want to have him second guess himself. That's what this game is about. Can I impose my will on you to make you second guess yourself? It's just a bad look on all fronts for everybody.
It's a no-win situation.
It's a no-win situation, right? As a father of a daughter, especially a daughter who's going to work in the service business of, she does cosmetology school, and knowing that you have to serve clients and your reputation of serving a client has an impact on what your Google rating is or what you're rated.
Your earning ability.
Your earning ability. So I just think it's tough. I think it's nasty. I think what transpired is just tough, man. And you gotta it's hard to shake from your mind.
Big time. If you were a free agent wide receiver, would that weigh on your mind with signing with Cleveland or elsewhere?
I mean, it does have to weigh on your mind because you have a family, you have kids, you have a wife.
Definitely.
And they're going to be looking at you, or you just going to act like that didn't happen, right? I was on the team with Ray Rice at the time, and we actually were sharing a suite together. And when that happened, I was like, my wife's looking at me and I'm like, what do you, because I wasn't there and I don't know the full story. I'm just being told what he's telling me. And then it comes out months later, and I was like, so it's hard. Because I don't want to beat a dead horse. I don't want to jump off the top rope. I'm also not giving him a hall pass either.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, from where I'm sitting, I think as a fan, it's like the more he plays, the less it will get talked about naturally. And I think it's too soon to disassociate. I don't know if we should ever disassociate. And you could say it's not fair. You could say it happens in other professions. Of course it does. None are as public as this. And I think that's part of it. But yeah, it's a very weird situation to just have him come back. And I saw someone point out, like, there was this wonder, would the Browns embrace him because quarterbacks often are the franchise, the face of the franchise. And right after the game, they get the team phone in his hand, and he's posting videos to the team account. I don't even think he had addressed the media since coming back yet. So it's kind of weird to be like, yeah, you're not talking to reporters, but here's this tweet we're going to send out to our fans. And I've seen a lot of Browns fans are very conflicted. I think it's an interesting fan base for this to happen to because they're loyal. They're so loyal, and they follow their squad. Here's the one interesting thing that I've been watching that I find it kind of wonky. Okay.
all these different reporters keep asking about how remorseful he is. And people are commenting, he needs to show me that he's remorseful. I think more than anything, he needs to, whether it's conversation, the people that he allegedly did those things to, that's who he needs to really,
1,000%.
I believe he needs to have conversations with. All these other, like somebody that likes the Browns or someone that likes the NFL that lives in Alaska, I don't believe he needs to apologize to that person.
I don't disagree with that. The victims for sure.
Oh, the victims
are way ahead of a random.
But I'm
fan.
saying some random fan that says I deserve an apology from you because I'm like, and I'm just sharing what I was watching. I'm listening. I'm going, wow, right? So now we have to right. Now someone has to apologize to a random person in some random place.
Right.
That says I'm in line, and some of these people, I'm in line more than the victims. I'm in line in front of the victims that I deserve a handwritten note from him before I can root for him to play for that team. Or someone I've seen people talking about, I'm not going to watch the NFL anymore. I'm not going to watch a game anymore because they've allowed him. Man, if you look at some of the CEOs of some corporations and you see what their history or they got their record expunged, it'd be interesting.
There's bad people everywhere. Is what?
Yes, I'm not saying all of this to say that Deshaun Watson gets a pass.
No, of course not.
I'm just talking. I'm just randomly talking because I've seen a lot of different things that I'm going, wow, where does that individual think that they deserve?
People are very self-important. Like they think everyone's the protagonist of reality. The world revolves around them. I do think there are probably people who have suffered similar abuse, alleged abuse in their lives. And this was probably pretty triggering. It's probably pretty triggering to see him and know allegedly what he's done.
It's a disgusting act too.
Horrifying.
So that so let's be honest.
I don't think he needs to line up and have people apologize to him. But I did see the NFL came out and say has made significant progress in his recovery. But they did not say what the progress was, what the recovery was, what steps he's actually taking. So that's where it's like the NFL can't say these things and then give zero examples of what that, because what is the recovery there? I have no idea what that even means.
I mean, I think there is some.
The lack of transparency is what I think bothers people.
But the transparency of who? The transparency of a random person sitting on a bus stop or a random person who's sitting at the water cooler? The victims are the only people that are owed anything.
1,000%.
One thing I've learned as I've gotten older that I think you cannot, and I think that's why prisons are constructed, is time. When you're sitting alone with yourself and you've done something, good or bad, right? And you have that time, man, it could do some things to you.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that was I think that's the purpose. Giving him that time, reflecting, learning empathy, learning, understanding how he's impacted, what is impacted, how it's impacted, what it has done to the victims. Yes, not everybody gets it at the same pace as everybody else, but if you're doing real clinical work with some legit people, you have nothing but time to really know the impact that you've had. You've never really know the impact on that particular person to the core of how they felt it, pain by pain. But you definitely can't glance over it or ignore it if you're doing the work the right way.
which is the unknown. And like you said,
here's what I think. I think it's unknown, but I think all parties are taking it serious. There's no counselor that's going to be counseling someone just to check off a box, right? You can't do that with this kind of levity of what's going on.
Completely agree.
So I think that. All right, let's move on to. That's my goal. I want to see, and my goal is more of seeing how Cincinnati could get this win and continue the momentum of what we've seen with them playing the Kansas City Chiefs. What's your goal?
My goal is Eagles or Giants, but it's Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, that's right there.
Talking about
you said that, and it just doesn't. It's not. It doesn't register as goal to me, but that's why I didn't remember. I apologize.
No, but I mean, we just had a very deep conversation too, and I'm glad we did because I know a lot of people are trying to ignore that situation, but. Cincinnati kind of is playing playoff games the rest of the way. They have to at least be in that mentality because they're still a wild card team. They're tied with the Ravens. Lamar isn't playing this week.
No.
And so they kind of need this one. I think they play New England the week after in New England. Another team that they're vying for a wild card spot with at this point in time. So, they can't really have a letdown game. So that part of it is interesting. My silver is Jets at Bills.
I put a star by that Cincinnati and by the Pitt and Baltimore game.
Okay.
Would you like to know what I put a star and I put 2 words next to it?
What are those words?
Franchise tag.
For Lamar?
That's all I put. At the time, I was thinking, do they franchise him? Franchise tag? Or was this a good play by the Ravens? And what is the future for Lamar if this knee is lingering on into the offseason or he can't play? He comes back and plays. It's all bandaged up and it slows him down, right? Does this become a Phillip Rivers type of thing where he plays hurt and it takes away from his scrambling ability moving forward? That's my mind went 100 miles per. I went down so many different rabbit holes. But that was the guy. You remember Phillip Rivers slightly tore his knee, put the brace on, played anyway, and he had to, and it hampered him pretty much and took away a little bit his mobility moving forward.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case for Lamar. I hope it's one of those things where it's a what they call a flesh wound.
Yeah, especially since he has been so openly. And this was the other part of the Deshaun acquisition by the Browns, non-off-the-field stuff. Them giving him that contract kind of screwed over the Ravens when it came to Lamar.
I mean, it screws over every quarterback moving forward.
Right.
If you could play quarterback you up and your team needs you, what did he get, 230?
Fully guaranteed, you say? Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that as well. And I don't have the off-the-field baggage, so you can sign that with a clear conscience.
Yeah.
That's the franchise tags. I would just pay him. Like I think his passing.
What happens if he takes a step back with the knee?
Because I think his passing's underrated, and the Ravens.
Oh, definitely, he's improved in it,
and he's improved with not the most stout receiving core that's ever been constructed. Yeah. And Greg Roman hasn't exactly called some of the best games we've seen. So it's like, let's get him a coordinator. And they've got Mark Andrews. They've got who's the second-year guy out of Minnesota? Rashad Bateman.
Bateman. Yeah, Bateman's injured, so yeah.
Right, no, he's injured now. But guys that have looked like upper echelon type players.
I agree
with the Ravens. So it's let's get one more.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Rashad Bateman or Jacoby Myers?
Myers stays on the field. Bateman's played 2 seasons and he's been in and out. So it's that kind of consistency. Obviously, he's not as talented as Bateman, but that kind of consistency matters too.
Jacoby Myers is consistently average there.
I think he's slightly above average, but yeah.
Slightly above average in respect of grilled cheese or peanut butter jelly?
One thing I'll say about when I watch Jacoby Myers, I see David Givens, a player I assume you remember.
I think David Gibbons was more consistent and brought more to the table.
David Gibbons also had real quarterbacks and a real offensive coordinator. He had Charlie Weiss and Tom Brady. Jacoby Myers would kill for those guys. But the reason I see that is because whenever a play was needed,
who's Deion Branch on this team?
We don't have one. That's part of the problem. We don't have a Troy Brown. I would kill for a Troy Brown. Troy Brown's my favorite player I've ever seen.
Troy Brown. You know, he used to be down here in South Carolina.
I believe it. He was a Marshall guy. Like he's a Carolina guy. Although that's West Virginia, but either way.
Yeah. No. I'm saying he grew up in South Carolina.
Oh yeah,
I'm
sure.
He was down here. He was down here before he became the wide receivers coach up there.
He was the only person to take a snap during Tom Brady's first years.
I know. Remember he played corner? Remember they had him at corner?
He played corner well. For a wide receiver, he played corner pretty well. I remember him getting a pick. I remember him getting a pick. He was out there.
Why? You know why? Because Jacoby Myers was the receiver.
Listen, Jacoby might be our best quarterback. If we really want to talk about it. If we really want to talk about it.
Silver.
Jets Bills is my silver. Jets are in a dangerous spot because they don't have the tiebreaker over the Patriots, who are currently the 8 seed. The Jets are the 7 seed right now. So if they lose this game and the Patriots beat the Cardinals, which both of those things should happen, the Bills are not going to let up. This one bye week that the playoffs have instituted has really screwed over a lot of teams when it comes to week 17. Because there's no more, we can lose this game and still be the 2 seed and get a bye. There's no more of that. You're either the 1 seed and you get a bye, or that's it. You're playing next week. So the Bills are going to be pedal to the metal the rest of the year because
the Bills have to. They got to get up underneath the Jets, and they got to have that home field advantage for the Miami Dolphins. Right? They got to slow them down. Right?
And the Chiefs. Like the Bills should want everyone
and the Chiefs. And here's the other part. I said it on air. The Bills have been playing hang around football. Like they allow a team to hang around like the Minnesota Vikings and put themselves in a bad spot. So I would agree with that. My silver is Miami and the Chargers. I want to see can Miami bounce back after getting out physical by the San Francisco 49ers. Right, you got Khalil Mack. You got some guys. Can they play? Are they really the Miami Dolphins? They were able to be the Miami Dolphins to surprise everybody in the beginning of the year. They're not surprising anybody now. There's a level of expectation, and I think the Miami Dolphins have realized the expectation, and they realize that they're going to get everybody's best shot. And I think they were a little bit taken back after scoring on the first play that the San Francisco 49ers didn't go, man, we don't have a chance. Like they started to really show, and then and when they just got a little bit of help by Jimmy Garoppolo going down, the defense played even better.
There was something Chris Long posted that I don't know that I've ever seen either. Mike McDaniel, during the game, turned to, I believe it was Tua. It was someone on the offense. And he said, no, that wasn't your fault. I messed up. Can you remember a coach during a game admitting
not during the game? Not during the game. They were saying behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But they're not going to say it in the game. Mike McDaniel's just a different dude. I like him.
Does that go a long way with players?
Absolutely, it goes a long way. Because then when he is critical of you, you're taking it, well, I must have really screwed up because he's telling me. The guy told me when I screwed up the last time that it was his fault. Yeah. And he meant it. So I think that's the difference. Genuine.
He does
seem genuine. Is definitely genuine. He's different in a good way. He's really, really different.
Yeah, I was furious when Miami hired him. This is the deepest the AFC East has been my whole life, both in terms of talent and coaching. And they're going to get better. And I don't know if the New England Patriots will get better with everyone. No. We need
All right.
we need an offensive coordinator and a left tackle, and potentially a quarterback. Maybe the three most important things a team needs. We need.
All right.
Do you disagree?
What's your Browns? No, I don't. Just the way you said it, it took me back. What about the Browns?
My Browns is Vikings at Lions. For similar reasons we said earlier, the Vikings just keep cruising. Dan Campbell's already talking up this game. This game is why you get into coaching. The Lions are 5-7. They're 5-7. They're better than most of the teams in the league this year.
They're better than
Detroit
the Rams.
Lions. Way better than the Rams. And they've got the Rams pick. 3 of the top 5 picks are traded. Already traded.
Yeah.
And the Eagles are getting one of them. The Lions are getting one of them. Who's the other team? The Texans. No, not the Texans. Who's the other team? Oh, the Seahawks. The Seahawks are getting the other one. Wow. It's a tough scene. At least one of those teams won a Super Bowl. The other two, buyer's remorse immediately. But if the Lions move to 6-7, they just activated Jameson Williams. I'm interested to see him.
I know. I'm interested to see him too. Yeah,
play more. They've got him playing a lot of gunner. I know he did it at Alabama, but would you do that to a guy coming off injury?
I'm staying out of that.
Should the Lions be looking quarterback, or has Goff shown you enough where it's like, we could do worse than this?
For the offense that they're running, Goff has showed me enough. Keep that. Get some different, get some more players, get another wide receiver. Figure out your defense, man. Figure out your defense. Yeah. Defense is holding them back. All right. My Browns, and I wrote easy Browns. I expect the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know what to expect out of San Francisco 49ers, but I want to know if Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan is it for real. Like, you step in, nobody expects anything. They start game planning. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense can present some problems. So I want to see how does Shanahan handle a full game with a game plan under him now, kind of the same thing Robert Saleh is having with Mike White. When no one knows what your deficiencies are, you just go out there and sling it, no risk it, no biscuit. But now when teams know exactly what to do and how to do it, and they get enough film, how does he, is this the guy that's going to be here next year, or is this the move where then maybe after that they move forward with maybe acquiring Baker Mayfield or I don't know what I don't know what the answer is going to be, but people are saying Brock Purdy's not the answer. He looked pretty decent to me. I don't know. He looked all right. I don't know if all right would be status quo or a step below, or if he comes out there and you go, he can play a little bit. Not sure.
With Elijah Mitchell sidelined to at least, I don't know, the NFC Championship, if he comes back even that soon. Did Tyrion Davis-Price, the rookie running back at LSU, did he just become like the most important?
Yes, he is because the workload with Christian. Right? I don't know if you noticed, man, Christian is getting hit a lot.
Sure is.
He's running between the guards. He's getting hit a lot. He's already had some knee soreness. You got to have a guy that you can spell, and they got to show a running game without Christian because you can start to see, man, Debo is starting to suffer a little bit.
Yeah, he hasn't been fully healthy.
No, Brandon Ayuk is balling, so they got to figure out some things. I didn't see a lot of Jawan Jenkins this week for whatever reason. So it's I want to see how the San Francisco 49ers bounce back against a defense. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have shown us this year, their defense-wise, where there's injuries, that they'll give you some plays they'll give you some plays.
Do you think Tom comes home next year and goes to San Francisco?
I'm not sure. I do know that Trey Lance is not the guy. I can tell you that. He is not the guy.
And if Jimmy's going to be hurt for an extended period of time, is this just Tom walking back
isn't Jimmy's contract's up after this, though?
It's sure, yeah, there's that, too. Yeah. Jimmy's contract's up. Yeah. Tom's contract's up. Trey Lance is injured and doesn't.
Trey Lance
don't seem to think
the
he's the guy.
He's not the answer.
Shanahan didn't seem to love him either, so I don't disagree with that. Could Tom come home? San Francisco, 2023.
Yeah, I don't know. Did Aaron Rodgers? I wonder if Aaron Rodgers ever wanted to play for San Francisco. I mean, now that he's a player. I know the draft, but I'm talking about before that. Now.
Maybe. I mean, he can't go like that. Contract's just unmovable. The way dead cap works and stuff like that.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, that's a tough scene. But Tom just being free, that team's ready made for him.
You ain't lying. Yep. Well, that's a good show, bro.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do this catch thing next time.
Top 5?
Yeah. All right.
YC wants it so bad.
Pause.